Welcome back to the Harvest to Table Videos channel, where we help you grow your own fresh produce at home. This is Stephen Albert. Few vegetables are as productive and rewarding to grow as summer squash and zucchini. With the right care, these fast-growing plants can provide a steady harvest all season long, often producing more than you can eat. I've grown multiple varieties over the years, from classic green zucchini to yellow crookneck and patty pan squash. I've tested different planting methods, trellising techniques, and organic pest control strategies to maximize yields. Through trial and error, I've learned what works best, from choosing the right varieties, to spacing, to preventing common issues like squash vine borers and powdery mildew. In this guide, I'll share my first-hand experience along with proven, expert-backed techniques to help you grow strong, healthy plants that thrive in your garden. Whether you're planting in raised beds, containers, or traditional garden rows, these tips will set you up for success. Summer squashes are frost-tender, warm-season annuals. Summer squash commonly grows as a bush or smaller weak-stemmed vining plant. Squashes have large, broad leaves, growing from 4 to 6 stems on short vines that grow from a central root. Summer squashes are eaten when they are immature, usually when their skins are soft and thin. The most popular summer squashes are crookneck, straightneck, scallop, and zucchini. Here are some of my favorite varieties. I found these easy to grow and very productive. First up is the classic zucchini variety called Black Beauty. It produces dark green, tender fruits and thrives with minimal care. Next is yellow crookneck. This is a reliable variety, known for its bright yellow, bumpy-skinned fruits and excellent flavor. Next is the patty pan squash called Sunburst. It grows prolifically and is great for grilling or sautéing. A zucchini variety called Bush Baby requires little space. It produces an abundance of small, flavorful zucchinis. The zucchini variety, Golden Glory, is a vibrant yellow squash. It not only adds color to the garden, but also resists common diseases. The heirloom Costata Romanesco is a striped zucchini. It has a nutty flavor and firm texture, making it a favorite among gardeners and chefs alike. If you want a high-yielding and dependable option, 8-Ball is a zucchini that produces round, dark green fruits that are perfect for stuffing. And finally, I like Tromboncino. It's a vining variety that grows long, curved fruits with a firm texture and can be trained on a trellis to save space. I've found all of these varieties easy to grow and rewarding at harvest time. When to plant zucchini and summer squash. Start to grow zucchini and summer squash, usually no sooner than 3 weeks after the last frost in spring. Sow squash seeds in the garden or set out seedlings started indoors, only after the soil has warmed to at least 60 degrees Fahrenheit. That's 16 degrees Celsius. Squashes are warm season crops and very sensitive to cold and frost. You can start squashes indoors as early as 4 weeks before the last average frost date in spring. Sow seed indoors in biodegradable peat or paper pots that can be set directly in the garden so as not to disturb plant roots. Summer squashes grow best in air temperatures ranging from 60 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit. That's 16 to 24 degrees Celsius. Established fruit will ripen in temperatures as high as 100 degrees Fahrenheit or 37 degrees Celsius, but flowers will drop in high temperatures. Summer squashes require 50 to 65 days to reach harvest. Plant summer squash and zucchini in full sun. Plant them in loose, well-drained soil, rich in organic matter. Prepare planting beds in advance by turning the soil to at least 6 inches deep and working in plenty of aged compost. You can add aged manure to squash planting beds in the autumn before growing squash. Summer squash prefers a soil pH of 5.5 to 6.8. Bush varieties are more compact and generally stay within 3 to 4 feet in diameter, while vining varieties can spread 6 feet or more if given space. If you're growing them in raised beds or containers, make sure they have enough room for air circulation to prevent diseases like powdery mildew. If space is tight, you can also train vining varieties up a trellis to save room. A trellis should be 5 to 6 feet tall and 3 to 4 feet wide. Use materials like cattle panels, wooden A-frames, or metal trellises that can support the weight of the vines and developing squash. Use soft ties to support the fruit. How to plant summer squash and zucchini. Plant squash seeds 2 to 3 inches deep. I prefer to plant seeds in raised hills or mounds. Mounds should be 6 to 12 inches tall and about 20 inches across. This will allow plants to run down the hills. Space hills 6 to 8 feet apart. Plant 3 to 5 seeds, set 3 to 4 inches apart on each hill. If you plant in rows, plant seeds on mounded rows. Set rows 3 to 5 feet apart. Summer squashes can be trained up a fence or trellis. If you plan to use a trellis, set it in place at the time of planting so as not to disturb growing roots. You can easily grow bush-type summer squashes and zucchini in containers on a patio or balcony. Sow 2 or 3 seeds in the center of a 10-inch container. Grow 1 or 2 summer squash plants per household member. Watering summer squash and zucchini. Summer squash grows best in soil that is kept evenly moist. A 10-foot square squash patch will need about 6 gallons of water each week. That's slightly more than a half gallon per square foot. Stick your finger in the soil to about 1 inch deep. If the soil is dry, it's time to water. Squash that is wilted in the morning needs immediate water. Drip irrigation can deliver water directly to the roots. If you water overhead, water in the morning to allow leaves to dry before nightfall. Now let's talk about feeding summer squash and zucchini. Fertilize summer squash with a side dressing of compost tea or slow-release organic fertilizer every 2 to 3 weeks during the growing season. Avoid feeding squash with high nitrogen fertilizer. Too much nitrogen will produce large leaves and few fruits. A good NPK ratio for squash fertilizer is 5-10-10. You can also add aged compost to planting beds before planting and side dress squash with aged compost at mid-season. Zucchini and summer squash pollination. The first flowers to appear on a squash plant are male flowers. They will not produce fruit. Female flowers appear slightly later and are pollinated by the male flowers, usually with the help of insects. If pollination is slow or does not occur, you can hand-pollinate female flowers by using a soft bristled brush. Dust the pollen inside a male flower, and then carefully dust the inside of a female flower. A female flower will have an immature fruit on its stem, while a male won't. Squash pests and diseases. Summer squash can be affected by several common pests, including squash bugs, squash borers, and cucumber beetles. These pests can cause significant damage, especially as plants begin to fruit. Insect pests can also spread plant diseases. Hand-picking insects or washing them off with water is an effective control method. Cucumber beetles can carry bacterial wilt, so controlling them is essential for plant health. If you notice small holes in the stem or sudden wilting, squash borers may be present. In that case, you can carefully slit the stem, remove the borer, and cover the stem with soil to promote new root growth. You can reduce the risk of disease by planting disease-resistant squash varieties. Fungal and viral diseases like powdery mildew and mosaic virus are not uncommon in the squash patch. Powdery mildew causes gray-white leaf discoloration and thrives in humid conditions. To prevent powdery mildew, water at the base of plants to keep foliage dry. Also avoid handling plants when they are wet. This will stem the spread of fungal spores. Mosaic virus, spread by aphids, causes mottled, stunted plants. Always remove infected plants from the garden immediately and control aphids to prevent the spread of mosaic virus. To prevent diseases, keep the garden clean of debris, space plants to allow for good air circulation, and water at the base of plants. Zucchini and summer squash harvest. Harvest zucchini and summer squashes when the rind are still tender. From years of growing zucchini and other summer squashes, I've learned to harvest the fruits when they're about 6 to 8 inches long. Any larger, and they start to lose that tender, buttery texture. I check my plants daily once they start producing, because summer squashes can go from perfect to oversized practically overnight. Use a sharp knife or pruners to cut the fruit cleanly at the stem. If you twist them off, be careful not to damage the plant. Regular harvesting actually encourages more production, so the more you pick, the more you get. Do not let summer squash and zucchini mature. That will suppress flowering and reduce the yield. Storing and preserving zucchini and summer squash. Summer squashes will keep in the refrigerator for up to 1 week. Do not wash squashes until you are ready to use them. Cooked squash can be frozen, canned, pickled, or dried. And there you have it, how I grow summer squash and zucchini from seed to harvest. If you find this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the Harvest to Table Videos channel for more gardening insights. Please hit the like and share buttons to let friends know about the Harvest to Table Videos channel. If you have questions, drop them in the comments below, and please let us know what you are growing this season. Want more tips? Check out my vegetable gardening books now available at Amazon. Click on the link in the notes below. Until next time, this is Stephen Albert wishing you happy gardening. See you in the next video.